Do you feel like that special connection has just been lost? That person who seemed so right suddenly became a mystery, leaving you in the dark? Maybe you're wondering why everything fell apart so quickly, why this person who seemed to be yours is now lost amidst so many distractions and confusions. Well, today is the day when everything will make sense. The angels are trying to send you a powerful message, something you need to hear to finally understand what is truly happening. Get ready, because what you're about to discover could change everything. You realize that, even without fully understanding, this person is searching for something they may not even know themselves. They miss a presence that somehow provided a sense of completeness, something they can't find in anyone else. They try to fill that void, but the truth is, deep down, it is you they are looking for, even if they don't realize it. By getting involved with other people, this person is only trying to fill gaps, seeking to recover that feeling that only you could provide. They got lost along the way, deviated from what really mattered, perhaps never having understood the depth of what existed between you. But now they are beginning to realize, albeit subtly, that what they desire most is to reconnect with that essence you shared. This incessant search, this involvement with others, is a desperate attempt to recreate what you had, but unsuccessfully, they find themselves further and further away from finding what they truly need. Because, in the end, it is your presence, your way of being, your energy that they long for. They search for you, for the connection you had, for the person you made them feel when you were together. It's as if they're trying to find in other places what they once had with you, but without ever reaching the same level of depth and connection. And the more they try, the more they realize that what they're looking for isn't out there, but rather in what you both already lived together. They are starting to understand that perhaps what they are searching for isn't something new, but rather something that already was, something that is still, in some way, a part of you. You know when you feel that something has changed, but you can't quite identify what it is? This person is going through exactly that right now. Something deep is moving within them, something that cannot be ignored. Their intuition is expanding, opening doors to a world that was previously unknown. They are beginning to notice a connection that goes beyond words, almost as if you could communicate without needing to speak at all. What's happening is much more than mere coincidence. They begin to realize that dreams about you are not just reflections of the subconscious, but messages that come from a much deeper place. Each dream brings a new understanding, as if revealing truths that were previously hidden. These messages, coming from times past, are reaching them now, as a way to awaken consciousness to something greater. They are beginning to understand that these coincidences and signs are not by chance, but rather a way for the universe to guide them toward a deeper understanding of the connection you share. This epiphany is like a light shining in the darkness, bringing clarity and understanding of what is truly happening. And it is precisely in this process of awakening that they begin to question everything around them, seeking to understand the meaning of every dream, every sign they receive. It is a powerful moment, where intuition becomes their greatest guide, leading them to discover truths that were dormant within them. After so much time, finally, this person begins to perceive the depth of this connection. It's as if suddenly, a light has illuminated everything, and now they understand the true value of what you shared. This moment of awakening is the recognition of all that was being ignored or underestimated. It's as if all the pieces of the puzzle have finally come together, revealing a truth that was there all along but only now makes sense. This person, for a long time, invested their energy in the wrong directions, prioritizing things and situations that could never replace what you had. Perhaps they believed, out of arrogance or lack of understanding, that they could simply move on and find something equal or better, as if what you shared could be easily replicated. But reality is different, and now it has become clear. Now, with this new perception, comes also the recognition of the effort and time wasted on illusions. It is painful, but necessary, to realize that nothing sought outside of this connection can compare to what you had. It is an understanding that hurts, but it also brings a certain clarity. This person begins to understand that they tried to replace you, even without the courage to admit it to themselves. Now, all that remains is the recognition that nothing, absolutely nothing, can fill the void left by this connection. You realize that there is something between you that goes beyond what words can explain, an energy, a harmony that seems to transcend time and space. It's as if, somehow, your souls have always known each other. Maybe you don't believe in soulmates or concepts like that, but it is undeniable that there is a force that pulls you toward this person, something that simply makes sense on a deeper level, as if it were part of your own being. And they felt it too, even if they didn't want to admit it. They always tried to understand what was happening through logic, concrete reasons, things that can be clearly explained. They tried to fit this connection into a box of practical ideas, but the more they did so, the more they seemed to get lost. They tried to replace this feeling, ignore it, run away from it, but nothing seemed to work. Deep down, they always knew it was something different, something that could not simply be replaced by anything else. While they tried to rationalize, you followed a different path. You always guided yourself by intuition, by what you felt in your heart. And perhaps that is why this person was so impacted by you, by your way of seeing the world and connecting with everything around you. Your presence brought to the surface feelings they didn't even know existed, opened doors they didn't even know were locked. You know that feeling of being lost among a million people, and at the same time, feeling like there's a crowd inside you? That's kind of what happens when someone tries to find you and fails. It's not that you're hiding or that there's a wrong map, it's that you're like a labyrinth that changes shape all the time. Every curve, every corner has a new surprise, a new path that no one expected. And honestly, how could anyone expect to find you if you are so many versions of yourself at the same time? You are the sum of many parts, many interests, many passions. It's not a matter of having multiple personalities. It's not that, it's not something so literal. It's more about how you embrace different energies, as if every little piece of curiosity in the world awakened something new in you. As if you were a kaleidoscope, always changing, reflecting colors that no one has ever seen. It's impossible to put you in a single category or define who you are with just a few words. You are complex, intense, and that's what makes you so unique. They are fascinated and curious about you because there is something very special about who you are. You are a unique person with qualities that truly stand out. There is an incredible strength in you, an energy that seems to pulse with an intensity that few people possess. Your mind is sharp, determined, and you carry a resilience that is rare to see. It's as if you have an almost unbreakable capacity for endurance, to stay strong even when everything around you seems to be falling apart. And when something ignites your passion, you give yourself fully, body and soul. You're not the type to do things halfway. When you want something, you go after it with everything you've got. You're the person who, when you decide to pursue a dream, there's no obstacle big enough to make you give up. Your energy is passionate, vibrant, almost like a storm that cannot be contained. But it's a good storm that sweeps away what doesn't serve and makes room for what truly matters. It seems like you can do 1,000 things at once without losing your rhythm. It seems like you have the gift of making things happen, whether by the force of your will or simply because people feel that you are someone who always has everything under control. At the same time, there is a balance in you, a way of living that respects both the lights and shadows of life. This way of honoring both sides makes you a person who brings peace, who inspires confidence. Because deep down, people know you are fair, and that fairness keeps your soul pure and transparent. Moreover, your loyalty is one of your strongest traits. When you commit to someone or something, you go all the way. Not just anything can shake your loyalty. It is deep, sincere, and that is what makes people feel so comfortable around you. You have this welcoming energy that makes everyone feel protected, as if they were at home. Your presence is a safe haven. And there's also that incredibly sensitive side of you. You feel everything intensely, with an empathy that touches people's hearts. You are genuinely caring, full of compassion, and this is reflected in the way you connect with others. Your heart is always open to those who come with good intentions, and that's why your presence is so comforting, so special. You make people feel valued, respected, and above all, loved. You are an entire universe, full of nuances and singularities that no one else possesses. That's why this person could never find you elsewhere, in another person. And look, it's not because they didn't try. They searched, yes, looked in other eyes, in other laughs, in other conversations. But it's like searching for a piece of the sky at the bottom of the sea. They wanted to find you in others, but failed. You can't be replicated because you are unique, too unique to be found in someone who is not you. Therefore, it's important to feel empathy for this person because they were confused. Deep down, they didn't know what was happening, didn't understand what they felt. They are the type who lives in the world of certainties, of things that can be seen and touched, a person more connected to the logical side of life. And you are all emotion, intuition, something that goes beyond the obvious. So, as much as they tried to rationalize, to put this connection in a box and name it, it would never work. And they ended up getting lost in the attempts to understand something that cannot be explained, something that can only be felt. It's difficult when someone, trapped in their own logical world, tries to decipher deep feelings as if they were mathematical equations. They were trying to find in others what, in truth, only exists in you. And this is, in a way, even proof that what you lived was intense, was real, was unique. But, at the same time, they could not perceive the dimension of this because they were always trying to translate what is immeasurable. And that's why now, looking back, perhaps you realize that they didn't know how to deal with what they felt because they didn't know what they were feeling. And that's okay. Not everyone is ready to understand something so deep, so out of the ordinary. What matters is that you, with all your wonderful complexity, with this unique ability to touch people's hearts differently, are still here, being who you are, without needing to mold or fit into expectations that were never yours. So if they couldn't find you in others, it's because, simply, you cannot be found anywhere except where you truly are. And that's something that only those who have the courage to live the unexpected, to open themselves to the unknown, can truly appreciate. Sometimes, someone's journey to awakening their own spiritual connection can be a bit slower than ours. You who already walk this path with clarity, may have felt this bond almost immediately, recognizing the signs and listening to your intuition more naturally. This doesn't mean that the other person isn't on the same path, but rather that their perception took a little more time to align. While you had already identified and understood what was happening, this person may have gone through a more tortuous process. Attempts to find answers in other people, in quick and unsatisfying relationships, show that they were searching for something that, deep down, was always you. These fleeting encounters, which started and ended so quickly, were not in vain. They were steps, albeit missteps, for them to reach this point of greater clarity. Now, with intuition opening and consciousness expanding, this person begins to understand what was once confusing. The journey has brought them back, perhaps not exactly to the starting point, but to a place where, finally, the pieces begin to fit together. And here, the importance of your patience and understanding becomes even more evident. Because, although it has been a slow process, it was necessary for this person to reach where they are now. This person is experiencing a giant internal conflict, the kind that takes away sleep, you know? As much as they try to distance themselves from you, the truth is they never could, and perhaps never will. There is a fear there, a fear that makes them feel small next to you. A fear that grows every time they look in your direction and see how much they admire you. They put you on a pedestal and now don't know how to bring you down from there. It's as if they believe that even if the world collapsed, they still wouldn't have the courage to come close because in their mind, you are almost unreachable. They have already tried to find you in other people, jumping from relationship to relationship, but it never worked because no one can be you. Each new face that appears, each new attempt, only makes them realize how unique you are. When they think they have found someone similar, who has a little of your way, any resemblance, the illusion quickly fades, and they find themselves attracted back to you. It's a never-ending cycle, a constant loop. Nothing seems capable of distracting this person from you. They might even think they will occupy themselves with other things, with other people, but deep down, the truth is that you never leave their mind. You are like a constant shadow, always present, even when they pretend to have forgotten you. And then just a detail, a smell, a song, a loose word, for everything to come back to the surface. This person misses you, and it's not something fleeting. It's not a light feeling that you can shake off and move on. It's something deep that grows every day. And the funny thing is, even though they try hard to forget, the universe seems to conspire to remind them of you at every moment. It's the signs that appear, the recurring dreams, the moments of distraction where, suddenly, you appear out of nowhere in their mind. They may be surrounded by people, but there is always a little space in their thoughts that is just yours. And no matter how much they try to run away, to distance themselves, to distract themselves, nothing really works. Because you are not just a memory, not just a person. You are a feeling they cannot take out from within, a desire they cannot ignore. Now they are beginning to see the truth. They realize that everything they had considered a mere coincidence, as if the universe were just playing tricks, is actually something much bigger. You know, for a long time, they thought that these constant memories of you, the repetitive dreams, and even that tightness in the chest when hearing your name, were things of chance. But now, finally, they understand that none of this is a coincidence. Every thought that comes up, every dream that insists on bringing you back, is like your presence is imprinted in their life. They feel it so intensely, as if you were sharing an invisible connection, an energy that unites you. It's almost as if you were beside them, always there, present in some way. And in the quietest moments of the night, when they close their eyes, you appear, like a comfort that soothes their heart and relieves their worries. They begin to understand that perhaps there is something deeper between you, something that defies logic and rational understanding. Your connection seems magical, almost mystical. They feel you invading their thoughts, their dreams, even their most everyday moments. But it's not something you do on purpose. It's like a natural force, something that just is. Something they've never experienced before. And that's exactly what scares them so much. This feeling that you are almost supernatural, that there is a magic in you that they can't fully understand. For a long time, they tried to push these feelings away, to convince themselves that with time, you would become just a vague memory. But instead, you have become a constant presence, something that cannot be ignored. They realize that there is no way to escape this feeling because it is etched into their soul, as if it were impossible to erase you from their mind, from their heart. And they begin to realize that perhaps this doesn't need to be something frightening but rather a gift, an opportunity to recognize that not everything can be explained, that not everything needs to be rationalized. Sometimes it's just necessary to feel, to let yourself be carried away by this invisible current that unites you in such a unique way. And so, with an open heart, they begin to accept that this connection will not go away, that you, in some way, will always be present because you left an indelible mark, a mark that time does not erase, that nothing can dissolve. A mark on the soul, on the heart, that they finally recognize as a part of themselves. It's a delicate path to realize that sometimes transformation only happens when we allow the ego to dissolve, for certain ties to break. It may sound like an abstract idea, but it is real and deep. This person, the one who is there in your thoughts, needs to go through this, a true ego death. And maybe, if you really want things to flow, you will need to forgive. Yes, truly forgive, without reservations. There is an important choice here, unconditional love or conditional love. Because conditional love, the one that puts conditions and demands guarantees, will not take you very far. This person, despite being someone you feel as a divine counterpart, has done things that hurt. And that hurts, of course it hurts. But it's a connection that demands something greater, demands healing, demands a deeper understanding that no one, absolutely no one, is perfect. Everyone stumbles, makes mistakes, and sometimes gets lost along the way. So yes, even being this person who seems so connected to you, they tried to run away from this connection. Maybe out of fear, maybe out of confusion. And if you really want to move forward with this connection, forgiveness is the only way. It's not something you have to do, it's not an obligation, but if your desire is to keep this bond alive, forgiveness needs to be present. Understanding that mistakes happen, that awakening is not always quick. It was like that with them, slow, kind of lost. They know they sabotaged this connection. They know they acted without thinking. They know they tried to distract themselves from the pain they felt. They do not deal well with loneliness. You know that person who seems to always be running away from being alone? That's exactly it. When they are alone, their mind goes straight to you. Maybe you don't realize it, but they are watching you, trying to learn more about your life, stalking your social media, looking for traces of you. Distraction has become a way to escape their own thoughts, but now it seems like there is no more escape. They are being pushed into solitude, forced to face all of this head-on. And now, they have given up trying to find you in someone else. They realized that this only made them feel more distant, more lost. They tried, yes, to find in others the same energy they feel for you, as if they were searching for a reflection, a copy. But that doesn't work, they know that now. So, at this moment, they are isolating themselves, looking inward, doing a true inner search, letting intuition flourish, and gradually recognizing what this connection really means. It's a process of recognition and acceptance, of opening their eyes to what is true and what is illusion. Maybe they are starting to realize that no matter how hard they tried to distance themselves, this bond has its own strength, an intensity that cannot be ignored. This is one of those situations where deep down, we know that reconciliation is possible, but it won't happen easily, without challenges. It will demand an effort of understanding, of opening the heart, and of forgiving. Because as much as they have taken time to understand certain things, have clung to old habits, always repeating the same mistakes, they have not found true peace on this journey. They always wore that mask of strength, pretending everything was fine, but the truth is that inside, they were crumbling. This person spent months lost, trying to find you in others, searching in the wrong places for what only you could offer. They tried to fill the void with experiences and moments that, deep down, were never enough. They realize that now, but time has passed, and several months were spent looking for something that never came close to being real. And it's curious how, even with all of this, you never left their mind. It's as if you were there, in the hidden thoughts, in the heart, in the dreams. It's not something they can just erase or set aside. And now, it seems they have reached a turning point. They are beginning to understand that they need to do something because this situation is weighing too much, becoming unsustainable. They no longer want to continue living this unfinished story, with this feeling that they left behind something that truly mattered. Perhaps this is the moment when they finally decide to act, because continuing as they are is no longer an option. The opportunity to start over, to reconnect, is here in front of you. But this will require you to look beyond the mistakes, to understand that everyone has their own pace for awakening to certain truths. Yes, they took their time, but now they are more aware, and the next step is up to you. You can choose to give this story a chance, forgive, start anew together. Or you can choose to go your own way alone, because that is also valid, as long as you are true to your feelings. What really matters here is what you feel, what you desire. I want you to know that, regardless of the choice you make, the universe is with you. Don't feel alone. Whatever path you choose, you are exactly where you need to be, and you'll be supported by your angels, no matter your decision. Remember that the universe only wants the best for you, even if you don't always see it. God loves you deeply. You are a force that surrounds the world around you, and without a doubt, you will find your purpose through love. Type Amen to accept this message and all the blessings it brings. Take a moment to leave a positive comment, helping other viewers who need encouragement in their day. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe now and stay tuned for the next message awaiting you in the upcoming video.